The men and women of the 181st Intelligence Base in Terre Haute are ready to serve whenever called upon. And on September 11th, 2001, all options were on the table.
We've never talked to a 22-year-old about going, hey, can you go ram an airline or shoot one down?
Just like for so many of us, that morning was filled with unanswered questions at the base, but they wanted to be as prepared as possible for whatever came next. Two of the men who were there that day walked us through what it was like, including an unplanned encounter in the sky.
September 11th, 2001. It started like any other day at the Indiana Air National Guard Base in Terre Haute.
9/11's a day you will remember a lot of things, so you can remember how clear it was, like today.
The daily morning meeting happened, and not long after, it was obvious to retired Brigadier General Jeff Hauser the day would be anything but typical.
So we walked out and looked at the TV, and that was right after the first airplane had hit the towers. But while we were watching is right when the second one hit.
Several pilots had just returned to the base after a training deployment, and they were ready for orders.
We flew to Chicago, where the next tallest building in the United States was, the Sears Tower, the Hancock Tower. And we were observing O'Hare Airport and Midway Airport.
Retired Colonel Chris Colbert was one of the pilots who went up.
We weren't watching the news, we weren't being told anything, and I wondered what the world would be like when I landed back in Terre Haute.
But after a couple of otherwise uneventful hours in the sky,
a different voice came over the radio and told us that there was an aircraft that possibly needed escorted.
It was a mysterious assignment at first, with many unknowns.
We didn't know if we were to escort an airplane that was not supposed to be flying. Did we need to escort them to land, direct them to land? And even the discussion at the time was, would we shoot down a hijacked aircraft?
Then they got a closer look at the plane.
We saw the blue and white, and then you get a little closer and you see the United States of America on the side of it.
It was Air Force One with an unplanned flight.
Because the president decided to not stay in Nebraska, but to leave and go to Washington, D.C.
America was targeted for attack because we're the brightest beacon for freedom and opportunity in the world. And no one will keep that light from shining.
Colbert might have been in the pilot's seat for this chance encounter, but he says, like the other men and women at the base, he was just answering the call.
There is no fear factor. There really is just we train every single day, and as of today, we have something to do.
Training that had them ready, even as uncertainty loomed.
It was all instinctive. Everything, with our maintenance, our pilots, everything, not one person ever questioned anything that we've ever done. So that day, every single person stood up and goes, okay, what do you need?